Hello, in this video today I'm going to go through my five kind of favourite bits of my homebrew equipment. Not going to list things like boil kettles, grain fathers, fermenters, more the smaller things and things that I feel are really vital to me. I was trying to rack my brains to think of unique and different things compared to the other videos I've watched so far. I've seen the one with Jimbo and Saffir Brew, but there is going to be quite a lot of overlap. And most of my picks are also going to be of the one theme. So I'll start off. Number one, the thing that I think has improved my beer no end is fermentation fridge. Cheap, little under counter fridge, off of Gumtree. A greenhouse heater for heat, and an Inkbird for turning on the fridge and turning on the heater. This has just completely changed my beer. It allows me to do things like lagering. It allows me to cold crash if I'm wanting, clear beer or clearer beer earlier. And bit of an investment, so I think second-hand fridge, Inkbird, heater, you're probably all in about £80-90. You can maybe pick up a fridge cheaper, but that's how much it cost me roughly. And just gives me so much more control over my fermentation, and so that's been a game changer for me. If you have the space, if you have a dedicated brewing area, definitely I would invest in that. Number two, still on the same theme, is one of these. So this is a heat mat for a reptile vivarium. It's only something 22 watts, but it's flexible. It's quite a large area, so unlike say the brewing belts, you don't get just all the heat concentrated in one thin strip. And these work amazingly well if you have some sort of insulation. So before I had the fridge, I had this, which is just a box poorly cut using Kingspan, one sheet of Kingspan insulation, some of this sort of reflective tape, and that was my attempt to close up the gaps, just using that foam stuff. And I've had it in this shed, it drops down to 3-4 centigrade, really cold winters. That box with that 22 watt heat pad can keep it at 19 degrees centigrade. You've also got the heat coming off of the beer, the yeast, while it's working. But one of those heat pads, just enough to keep it ticking over. So I can also, because it's flexible, it also goes in there, just underneath the neoprene cover, and that was keeping the beer. Last when I used that, it was keeping something like 12 degrees above ambient, which I thought for the money. I mean, these are cheap. And it's great. I will never, even if you forget to turn them off, they won't get that hot, because you wouldn't really want like your pet to be cooked, so they don't get particularly warm, but the heat's dispersed over that wide area, so works fantastic. So that was number two. Number three, this is so I use liquid yeast quite a lot. I like liquid yeast especially for the Hefeweizens. I find WLP 300 is just my go-to. And I also like just the variety you can get with liquid yeast. But liquid yeast does take more looking after than packet of dry. And one of the things that's key is oxygenating the wort. And that's what I use this for. This is a stainless steel paint stirrer. So you attach this to a drill and put it into the wort once it's in your fermenter. Before you add the yeast, don't add the yeast and then use this. And then as fast as you can possibly use the drill without it spilling over the sides, keep this running for maybe 2 minutes and it'll get a good whack of oxygen in. Not as much as if you had an air stone and an oxygen cylinder. That's probably the ideal, well, it is the ideal way to oxygenate wort. However, this isn't a fire hazard. It's quite easy to get and it is cheap. I think this is £10-15. Just watch, a lot of paint stirrers are galvanised, which you don't want in your beer. Galvanised means it's steel that's been electro-coated, I think, with zinc, and it will react with the wort. So stainless or plastic, that's your kind of best bet. So yeah, you could also use this for a whirlpool. Just at the end of the boil, keep it quite slow. Run it for, again, 2-3 minutes and then just take it out. You also get a similar type thing from Grainfather, which is really big, chunky thing. I think this works better. I've been really happy with this. So again, if you use dry yeast, oxygenating the wort isn't that big a deal. I think Fermentus, who make like USO5, SO4, they've done studies and released the info saying that it makes no difference to their yeast if you oxygenate or not. But for liquid yeast, it is more important. And since I'm very lazy, I don't always make a starter, and I never make a starter with Kveik or Hefeweizen yeast. Just use that. Make sure I've got plenty of nutrient in the wort. So either you add something like Cervomyces, proprietary beer nutrient, or like DAP. I think you can add that after the boil. So once it's in the fermenter, I think that's one you can add just straight to the fermenting bucket. So I've had no issues with lag time or the yeast stalling out. If anything, I probably suffer more with the liquid yeast over attenuation. So that was 3. Number 4 was investing in a decent hygrometer, and especially the sample jar. The sample jar's probably better. When I started, I just had a plastic trial jar that I can see bugger all through it. Glass, more likely to break it, but it's crystal clear. I can easily see the markings on the hygrometer inside, and that helps me keep track of my gravity. That kind of leads me on to number 5, and it's what I'm using just now to record, and it's my phone. It doesn't necessarily need to be a phone. You could use anything, but it's more, I use brewing software that's on my phone. I use Brewfather, and in the past I've used Beersmith as well, which is also pretty good. And for me, that is it's probably the second to the temperature control. It allows me to make up recipes pretty easily and play about with ingredients and keeping all my recipes in one place that's easy to search, easy to find. So I pay for the premium version of Brewfather, and that's I've got dozens of recipes saved. All things I plan on making one day, but might never. But I have that space and the capacity. I preferred Brewfather to Beersmith because I liked how all my recipes were backed up in the cloud, whereas Beersmith, don't know if it's still the case, but you were limited to the number of recipes that could be saved. There are other calculators out there. I think Brewer's Friend, you can use, they've got recipe calculators, and definitely the Prime and Sugar calculator, I've used that quite a lot. They also have like water calculators and things like that. But the point is, I need those things to brew my beer. If they disappeared tomorrow, I could still probably brew, but these make it just so much easier, and they also help me. I can enter all the data on the brew day, and then I can enter it all again the next sort of batch of data when it comes time for bottling or packaging. Even keeping track of how long things have been in the bottle. This is very old. So yeah, finding some way of storing your recipes, storing your batch readings, data, whatever you want to call it, and the info that's on the software, quite often, like the BJCP guidelines, reading those can help you make your own recipes. They'll give you suggestions on what's normal ingredients for like the malts, what kind of hops are usual for that style. Don't need to stick to them, but it's good as a kind of suggestion. And then also you can play about with the quantities, so you get the right gravity and the right IBUs and things like that. So yeah, I find that's more important than, say, a recipe book, because you can search online recipes, or you can enter your own recipes, and they're just all stored. So yeah, I think that's me with a 5. Honourable mentions, things that I like, and this isn't one because not everybody either has the space to do it, or the money at the time or anything like that, but a dedicated space for brewing. I used to brew in the kitchen in our old flat, and that was a pain, because if you're doing all grain, it takes most of the day, and you're tying up the kitchen for that whole time. We also have dogs as well, so trying to keep them away was difficult. Back then there was only one dog, now there's 2, and the second one would be a real pest if I was brewing in the kitchen. It also allows me now, if I'm brewing, get to the end, everyone's in the fermenter, I can stop for a couple hours, go in, have my dinner, then come back and finish the cleaning. There's not that I need to be done in one sitting, which was starting to make it feel more like a chore. Could work for other people. I just like having my own space now, and that's been great. Then stuff like the bottling, I don't really want to add the bottling stuff because I know quite a lot of people now are the keg. So most of the people seem to be in the bottle for a few batches, and then once they get the chance, they'll keg. For me, I'll be bottling for a long time to come. But the things I find are quite useful: bottle tray for when you're cleaning and when you're sanitising your bottles. I think that's a good space saver, good design, and the pump for when you're sanitising your bottles. That really works. Yeah, I think that's one more thing for. And this is a really easy mod you can do to a plastic fermenter. Could probably do it to a steel fermenter as well if you felt brave enough. Thermowell. So all I've done for a few of the plastic buckets is drilled a hole in the top and I put this in. It's got little rubber O-rings. So put one at the top, on top of the lid. Then you would then put this in. Put this in, and the other side, another O-ring underneath, and screw this on. So that will give you a kind of tight seal. Nothing will get in where you've drilled the hole. And then temperature probe from your ink board. Just put it down there. And then a plastic bucket. Put this in the centre of the lid. This is a 12-inch thermowell. You're getting a reading from pretty much bang in the centre of the beer, rather than trusting the temperature reading from the edge and through plastic. So the steel better conductor of the heat. And that's definitely one I'll use. Any fermenter that goes in the fridge has the lid modified so it'll take the thermowell. And I'm pretty sure that what the reading I'm getting is pretty accurate. So yeah, that's my top 5 with a few honourable mentions at the end. Well, everybody's going to be different, and some of the things I've listed they'll probably think's shit. But that's on my brew days. These are the kind of most important things. Out with, boil kettles, grain fathers, fermenters, those sort of things. So yeah, cheers.